Hello and welcome to Dad Got This, where we answer the tough questions like all of the questions you guys asked me about the Ninja Woodfire Grill and how does a ninja cut vegetables? That one's easy, with karate chops. I've been cooking and making content on the Ninja Woodfire Grill for quite a while. I've done lots and lots of cooks on it. Throughout that time and all the videos I've published, I get a lot of questions from you guys. So I figured now would be a good time to answer some of those questions, most of those questions, a lot of those questions. If you have more questions, leave them in the comments. Maybe that'll be in a future video. Probably one of the most asked questions is, why is my Ninja Woodfire yelling at me to close the lid?
Shut it!
I want to cook with the lid open. Why can't I do that? You can do that in one mode. There is only one mode where the Ninja Woodfire allows you to cook with the lid open, and that is the grill mode. But there is a caveat to that. If you turn on the Woodfire setting, the Ninja will still yell at you to close the lid. It is just how it works. It's what it does. So if you would like to cook with the lid open as a true grill, like that, and you want to be flipping burgers or doing whatever, don't use Woodfire. Unfortunately, in every other mode, you cannot cook with the lid open. You could still technically cook with the lid open in any mode by having food in it and you're technically cooking, but the grill setting is the only one that really superheats this bottom plate and acts like a grill would, where all the heat is coming from the bottom like that. So if you want to cook with the lid open and you want to do like some traditional grilling, grill mode. Next question is all about pellets. Why don't they light? Why do they go out? Why don't I seem like I'm getting a lot of smoke? People have lots of questions about pellets. Let's go over the don't light portion first. The reason your pellets might not be lighting, and probably what I think is the number one thing that's happening to people, is you're not filling the hopper all the way to the top. You may think, I'm only doing a short smoke or a short cook. I don't need a full hopper of pellets. I'll just put a few in. Well, the problem with that is, from what I understand, the heating ignition element for the pellets is at the very top of the hopper. It's like up here. So if you don't fill your pellets all the way to the top so that the pellets are gonna get contact with the igniter, they're not going to light. Here's how I understand it works. When you put your pellet hopper into here and you hit that ignite button, it's gonna ignite the pellets on the top. It's going to get them burning, they may even catch fire, and then they smolder. Those hot pellets catch and they ignite the other pellets below them as they burn and turn to hot ash. And that's how you burn through an entire hopper. It's not constantly lighting the pellets and keeping them lit. That's not how it works.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
So you get your pellets in here, get them all the way to the top, always do the dad shake. The dad shake either compacts the pellets and makes them burn better, separates the pellets and gives them lots of air, or it does absolutely nothing. No matter what, I still do it every time and I don't have problems with my pellets igniting or staying lit. This is kind of another sub question within this question. How smoky should my Ninja Woodfire be? When you first start your Ninja Woodfire, you should get a big white plume of smoke after a few minutes. That is the pellets catching fire. Once they do that and they kind of die down, that big plume of white smoke is not going to be pouring out of the Ninja Woodfire all the time. You might think, oh, there's no smoke. There's kind of two kinds of smoke in the barbecue smoking world. There's what they call dirty smoke, which is that big plumy white smoke that you see. And then there's a clean smoke. Clean smoke is smoke that you can smell, but not 100% necessarily see all of the white billowy smoke. You might see a light wisp of smoke, but it's not gonna be that big cloud. So don't expect your Ninja Woodfire to smoke like a chimney through the entire cook. It only kind of does that at the very beginning, and then you're gonna get that nice clean smoke. That dirty smoke has its place. Some barbecue people put it in for a little while in the dirty smoke to get really heavy smoke flavor, but be careful. That dirty smoke can give a bitter or off taste to your food, and that's why barbecue places really, they aim for that really clean fire. They call it burning a clean fire. So they want that clean smoke, which is going to impart smoke flavor, but good smoke flavor. If you are ever wondering Are my pellets still ignited? Just tip the hopper open and look, they should be ashy, maybe a little red, but they're not gonna look like they're on fire. So don't expect an inferno when you tip the ash drawer out. As long as they're kind of smoldering, that's what you want. The next question sticks with the pellet hopper. Can I refill the pellet hopper during a cook?
Refill.
And when can I do that? And how do I do that? Very simple. Yes, you can refill your pellet hopper at any time.
Disclaimer. According to the manual, it says not to refill the hopper more than 1 to 2 times, and to refill when half the pellets have burned by topping them off. Also, they say not to use the reignition feature. I know for a fact that I have refilled more than 2 times, and I always use the reignite when I refill. My method has never failed me, and I have seen no negative effects to my Ninja Woodfire. However, I'm about to tell you to do something that the manual says not to. Proceed at your own peril.
Just get yourself a little scooper, a little spoon. The scooper that came with it works just fine. I use a little soup spoon. Open the side, pour your pellets in all the way to the top again. And then on the Pro Connect, you're just going to hit the wood fire button and it's gonna say IGN and reignite the pellets. On the older models, you have to actually hold that wood fire button for 3 seconds until you see it says IGN. Once that happens, it's gonna kick on the igniter and relight your pellets. Now, you could think that, oh, I've got burning pellets under there. I'm gonna put new pellets on top of it. Those will kind of reignite the ones below, but it's not gonna work. You're gonna end up smothering.
Did not smother him.
You smothered.
The pellets below it, and they're not gonna have enough oxygen, so they're not gonna continue to burn like they normally would. You are going to need to reignite your pellets when you refill them. Next up is, do I have to use Ninja brand pellets? I did an entire video where I tested multiple brands of pellets at different price ranges, and they all worked in the Ninja Woodfire Grill. Do some pellets work better than others?
Yes, 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 yes.
Some pellets do work better than others, but will pretty much any pellet you want to try in there work? Also, yes. I've used at least 6 to 8 different types of pellets in here, and not one of them has had a problem lighting or staying lit. They may stay lit for longer periods of time, provide more smoke, provide different flavors, but do you have to use Ninja?
No.
The short answer is no. Also, when you're buying your pellets, do you need to buy pellets that specifically say they work in the Ninja Woodfire Grill?
False.
For me, that's also a no. I have bought big bulk pellets that are made for working in giant pellet grills, and they still worked in this pellet grill. As long as they light and you store them properly and you treat them properly, everything should be good. A couple of tips for pellet storage. If you have these little small bags like this, I recommend that you keep them inside the house in a cool, dry place. Pantry, cabinet, anything like that will work. I happen to live in Florida, which is super humid, so storing them outside would be a very bad idea. Moisture in your pellets would just not be good, and it's not gonna let them light. Now, I actually do have some pellets that I store in my garage, which is still pretty humid, and I still get those to light. So I'm not sure where everybody's having their problems getting pellets to light. I've never experienced that issue, so it's hard for me to give you anything other than store your pellets properly so they don't have moisture, do the proper lighting procedure, and you can use just about any pellet you want to try. If you enjoyed this video, please do the likey, subscribe stuff, leave a comment. I answer just about every comment in my comment section, and if you really want to support this channel, consider becoming a member. Members get 24-hour early access to all videos. They get shout outs in videos, they get producer credits at the end of videos, and if you become the top level member, you can even get a holiday card from me at the end of the year. Whatever holiday you celebrate, I'll send you a card. So I hope that answered some of your questions about the Ninja Woodfire and Ninja Woodfire grilling. If you have any more questions, please leave them in comments down below, and maybe I will make another video. That only leaves us one question to answer. Why do ninjas never get sick of jokes? Because they have a deadly sense of humor. That's right, Dad might tell bad jokes, answer your questions about Ninja Woodfire grills, but one thing Dad will never do is an outro. So that's it. Bye.
This episode of Dad Got This was brought to you by our producers. Thank you very much.